Hey everybody, Phill Grove here, and I am here to show you the very first commercial project I ever looked at here in Austin, Texas, because I have a very interesting lesson to teach you. This is an intersection that's in a, kind of not great but not terrible part of Austin, Texas. And it's a pretty busy area. You can see there's a major road and a major intersection over there, and it's on the east side of town. And here's the interesting story about this development that's behind me. When I got into real estate basically 10 years ago, I was not very experienced, obviously, and I didn't know what was good real estate and what was bad real estate. And I found this development, and I thought to myself, wow, what potential this has. It's right at the intersection of a very busy couple of roads. It's on the east side of town. The east side of town is not a great part of town, but it's a turning over part of town. And if I bought a development like this, well, golly, in the next 5 or 10 or 15 years, this would be a great part of town, and this stuff would be worth a fortune. Well, here's the takeaway. We're looking at this thing 10 years later, and 10 years later it looks exactly like it looked 10 years ago. In fact, 10 years ago it had been sitting here for about 5 or 10 years looking the same way as well. And this area has not changed at all. This development has not changed at all, and this isn't worth a dime more than it was worth a decade ago. So what's the lesson here? The lesson is that a lot of times people invest in a neighborhood or an area with the intention or with the thought that, gosh, when that turns over, it's going to be worth a fortune. And one of the things I've learned over the years is that that's not investing. That's gambling. Bad neighborhoods tend to be bad neighborhoods forever. Good neighborhoods tend to be good neighborhoods forever. Now, that doesn't mean that sometimes a bad neighborhood doesn't turn over into a good neighborhood and vice versa. That absolutely happens. But the takeaway is you never know which ones and when. It's not at all predictable. So if you go in and buy property in a not great area, hoping that, in 5 years or 10 years it'll become a good area, you may be waiting approximately forever. There's areas of Austin, for example, that 30 years ago they said, man, in 30 years those will be the best parts of town, and yet 30 years later they're no better than they were 30 years ago. So that's my little lesson for today. I'm pretty darn glad that I didn't buy this thing 10 years ago. I guess 10 years from now I'll come and take a look again and see if anything's changed. I'm Phill Grove. Thanks, everybody.